Hi everyone, my name is Janine. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm coming to you from Kamloops, British Columbia. I wanted to offer up a short but invigorating practice today. We'll be getting into the entire body, working a lot with folds and with twists. So I hope that it'll feel good in your body. But just remember, everything I offer here is purely suggestions, and please listen to your body and do what works best for you. But before we get started with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Aparigraha. Now this is a Sanskrit word, which actually translates to non-grasping or non-attachment. And this comes from one of the ethical practices of yoga, which is in the yamas and niyamas. And to put it simply, aparigraha is really just being able to let go. So oftentimes when we experience something that we like, something pleasurable or satisfying, we can easily want to hold on to these moments and not let them go. And then oftentimes we can demand that same fulfillment from these things time and time again. But by failing to let them go, and not change, as in nature all things change, they begin to disappoint us. Because when in life we demand these same feel-good results that we had from something the last time, we are holding on to the experience and not allowing ourselves to let go and be open to new experiences and growth. And we are always free to let go. So let's not choose our attachments, which ultimately sets us up for disappointment. Because attachments keep us blinded to the smorgasbord of new opportunities that are around us. Deborah Adele has a beautiful example, and she says, what if we could trust life like we trust the breath? What if we could take in all the nourishment of the moment and then fully let it go, trusting that more nourishment will come again? So just like the breath gives us nourishment, so does life. In many forms. Sometimes the forms of relationships or work or even our home routines. And there is nourishment until we get attached, often unconsciously too. And then we disturb ourselves with our expectations, our opinions, our disappointments, all because we forgot to trust life, exhale, and let go. So Aparigraha is here to invite us to embrace full contact with the moment and then let it go so the next thing can come. And then we can be fully open and available for it. So with all that being said, my invitation for you today is to allow yourself to let go of your need for your yoga practice to look any certain way, for your body to feel as it did the last time you practiced, or for any expectations of this to go a certain way, and just be open to the unfolding. So maybe just taking a moment now here to just thank yourself for showing up and giving yourself this time and being true to yourself through that process. And when you're ready, we're going to begin our practice today standing. So go ahead and make your way up to the top of the mat. And once you've got there, we'll just begin to find our footing. So pushing into all four corners of the feet here, just rooting into the ground, into the mat, the earth below. We'll take an inhale now as we reach our arms and our hands all the way up towards the sky. All of our fingertips touching here, creating a space between the hands, coming into Hakini Mudra, and releasing that as you exhale, allowing your hands to come back towards your side. Moving like this a couple times, inhaling up, fingertips touch, exhaling as you release. Inhaling one more time, reaching up, fingertips touch in Hakini Mudra, and exhaling as you release. From here, we're going to inhale our hands back up towards the sky, coming back into that Hakini Mudra, Let's step our feet together here as we begin to tilt ourselves over towards the right hand side, coming into a nice side body stretch, getting into the lateral lines of the left side body. Breathing here. Inhaling as you come to center, and right away let's just tilt ourselves over to the left hand side here, getting into a side body stretch now on the right hand side. Maybe keeping your fingers in that Hakini mudra if it feels good. Inhaling as you come back to center, and we'll begin to hinge at the hips and fold the body all the way forward, so your torso is now folding over top of the legs, keeping a nice bend in the knees here if that feels good. Just starting off nice and slow here. Maybe grabbing onto your opposite elbows and rocking side to side. Just feeling into what the body wants. Letting your neck be heavy here. Taking a couple rounds of breath. And as you come into your next inhale, we're just going to halfway lift, coming into a flat back, maybe bringing your hands to your shins. And on your exhale, begin to fold your body again over top of your thighs. We'll move like that a couple times. So inhaling up, bringing your hands to shin, or maybe keeping them on the mat. And exhaling as you fold over yourself. Next time as you inhale, let's reach our arms nice and wide, lifting and leading with the heart as we bring our hands up towards the sky, palms touch. Exhaling, bringing your hands to heart center. Doing that again, inhaling up, palms touch. And as you exhale, let's pick up our right foot and step it right behind us off the left side of the mat. Grabbing onto our right wrist and stretching ourselves over into a side dancer, big side body stretch here. Pushing equally into both feet here as you stretch over to the left-hand side. And as you exhale, releasing your wrists, opening your hands nice and wide as you dive your chest forward, coming into curtsy pose, allowing for your head and your neck to fall down towards the mat and your hands stretching up back behind you. Releasing your hands now towards the mat. On your inhale, let's gather everything up, bringing our fingertips now back towards each other in that Hakini mudra as we step our right foot to meet our left, standing up at the top of the mat. And right away, let's inhale those hands back up towards the sky. And exhale as you dive forward into your forward fold. We'll inhale into that halfway lift with your flat back. Exhale, fold, planting the hands. And let's step ourselves back with our left foot coming into a low lunge, Anjaneyasana. So setting yourself up here so that your knee is about in line with the ankle. Maybe just letting your fingertips graze the mat here. And when you feel stable, we'll inhale as we reach our hands up towards the sky so that our arms are in line with our ears. Relax those shoulder blades back behind you. And checking in with your breath here. On your next exhale, let's release our hands back to the mat, framing our foot. We'll tuck our back toe, lifting our knee up off the mat, planting your left hand nice and stable on the mat, and we'll begin to peel our right hand up towards the sky, so we're coming into an easy twist here. Think about pushing your right back of the hand like you're pushing into an invisible wall here, equally pushing into your heel as well. And exhale as you release, letting your knee drop back to the mat, framing your foot. Inhaling here, and let's exhale as we begin to lengthen our front leg, coming into a half split in Ardha Hanumanasana. Staying for just one round of breath before you roll yourself back into that low lunge, picking up the back knee and pushing yourself up to the top of the mat into your forward fold. Grabbing onto your opposite elbows again, maybe a little sway. And we'll inhale into that halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, reaching your arms nice and wide, hands touch overhead. And let's grab onto our left wrist this time as we pick up our left foot, stepping it behind us off the right corner of the mat, coming into our side dancer on the left-hand side this time. Maybe giving a little buoyancy in the knees here as we feel that big length into the left side body. Try to relax in the tops of the shoulders here. And let's release our hands as we swan dive ourselves forward into that curtsy pose. Reaching our hands back behind us, letting our neck be nice and heavy here, breathing in and exhaling as you release your hands back towards the mat. Let's inhale as we gather everything up, bringing our fingertips to touch, stepping your left foot to meet the right as you reach your hands up towards the sky, and right away folding forward into your forward fold. Planting your hands to frame your foot, and let's step back with the right foot this time in Anjaneyasana, that low lunge. Finding your foundation here once again. Feeling that big opening in the hip flexors. And when you're ready, we'll inhale as we reach our hands up towards the sky, relaxing the shoulder heads down away from the ears. Maybe you can feel yourself sinking a little bit deeper. And on your exhale, let's plant our hands to frame our foot, picking up that back knee, planting the right hand beside us, and peeling open our left palm all the way up towards the sky. Maybe our gaze follows here. Thinking about pushing the back of that hand into an invisible wall again. So squeezing your shoulder blades, creating a nice big open chest here. And release, framing your foot once again. And let's right away begin to lengthen our left leg, coming into that half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Breathing here. Maybe inhaling, and on your exhale, folding forward. Again, keeping a nice bend in the knee here if you need. Maybe seeing what it's like to flex into your foot. And go ahead and roll forward, picking up that back knee and stepping yourself to the top of the mat in your forward fold. Inhaling right away as you reach your hands nice and wide up towards the sky, palms touch, and exhaling to your heart center. One more time, inhale as you reach up, and exhale, bowing forward into that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. And plant those hands as you step your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into your low lunge once again. Staying for a beat, then right away sinking your hip towards your heel as you lengthen your right foot, coming back into your half splits. And we'll plant our left hand beside us as we peel our right hand up towards the sky, coming into a twist here. Exhale as you bring your right hand back to the mat. We'll come into the other side now, peeling your left hand all the way up to the sky, getting into a twist on the second side. Noticing how different each side is. Releasing that, and we'll roll ourselves forward, picking up that back foot and stepping ourselves again to the top of the mat for that fold. Inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, fold yourself over. Big inhale as you reach and round your arms all the way up to standing, palms touch overhead. And exhale, bringing it all to heart center. Inhaling, rounding your hands up towards the sky. And exhale, diving forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the palms. And let's step back with our right foot this time, lowering the knee, coming back into that Anjaneyasana. Right away, lengthening your left leg so that your hip comes towards the heel. Let's plant our right hand to the mat and peel your left hand up towards the sky, getting into that twist once again on the second side. Releasing here, planting your left palm to the mat, and let's open up the right all the way to the sky. Maybe gaze follows here. And exhaling to release. Rolling yourself forward, picking up your back knee and stepping yourself to the top of the mat like before in your forward fold. Inhale again as you reach yourself up towards the sky, palms touch, and let's bring it in all the way to heart center. So we're going to come into a little balancing pose here. But before we do that, let's bring our fingertips together one more time in that Hakini Mudra, bringing all of our points of contact here. So we're setting ourselves up for tree pose now. So rooting into the left foot, nice and stable. Let's begin to lift our right foot up, opening up the hip, and we'll bring the right sole of the foot either at the ankle, around the knee, or perhaps you tuck it right up into the inner thigh like I have here. And really think about pushing equally here. As your foot pushes into your leg, push your leg equally back into your foot. Maybe looking at something that's not moving off in the distance, a point of focus. It can help with the balance, but also feel free to embrace any shakes and any wiggles. Just having fun with the process. So we'll release from here, so engage in the core and just bring your leg back out in front of you. And we're gonna step our right foot all the way to the back of the mat now, coming into a high crescent lunge. Now, if this feels like too much for you, then feel free to drop the knee down so you're back into that low lunge. But if you're lifted, think about pushing back with your right heel as you're pushing equally into your left rooted foot. We're going to open up into a twist here. So opening up the palms, twisting towards the left. So your left hand is back behind you. Maybe your gaze looks back at that hand behind you. Let's inhale as we untwist, bringing our hands up to the sky, and exhale as we step forward and folding all the way over ourselves into our forward fold. Inhale into that halfway lift and exhale to fold. Inhaling as you're bringing yourself all the way back up to standing, palms touch overhead, and exhale to heart center. Maybe coming back into that Hakini Mudra if it felt good for you. And we'll plant into our right foot here, maybe imagining you're growing roots deep into the earth as we pick up our left leg, opening up the hip, resting the sole of the foot either at the ankle, around the knee, or maybe scoop it up onto the inside of the thigh here, pushing your hip open into that tree pose. Taking a full round of breath here. And engaging in the core now as we release, bringing our knee back in front of us, and let's kick it back, stepping our left foot to the back of the mat, setting ourselves up for that high crescent lunge or your low lunge. Reaching your palms up towards the sky. We'll come into that twist from here. So begin to open up the chest, bringing your right hand back behind you. Maybe your gaze follows. Think about pushing equally into both feet here. Taking a full round of breath, relaxing the shoulders. And we'll bring everything forward, reaching your hands up to the sky one more time, and step it forward, bowing down into your forward fold. We'll inhale to that halfway lift, and exhale into your fold. Inhale, reach your palms up towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, heart center. Inhaling deeply one last time up towards the sky, palms touch overhead, and exhale into your forward fold. We'll inhale to that halfway lift, nice flat back. And on your exhale, let's slowly begin to lower ourselves down, hugging our knees together. So we're sitting up onto our toes, coming into a little squat. Bring your fingertips into that Hakini Mudra. And releasing yourself down onto the mat, finding yourself into a seat. We're going to set ourselves up for a twist here, half Lord of the Fishes pose. So go ahead and bend your left knee, bringing your left heel on the outer edge of your right glute. We're going to cross our right foot and our leg over top of that left thigh, planting at the sole of the foot. And begin to hug yourself in with your left arm here, opening up towards the right, planting the right hand back behind you as a bit of a kickstand to open up the chest and allow for yourself to twist open. Taking a full round of breath here. We're twisting from our center line, so be mindful of your neck. You don't need to crank it over too far. And on your next exhale, let's slowly release, bringing ourselves back to center. We're going to set ourselves up for another big hip opener here. This one's called fire log, or maybe known as double pigeon. So just begin to bring your left leg parallel out in front of you, and we're just going to pick up our right leg and stack it right over top of the left. So your legs are parallel to one another. Your right ankle is over top of your left knee, and your right knee is over top of your left ankle. Think about flexing into both your feet here. It can be nice to put something in between that left ankle and that right knee if there's a bit of a gap. Maybe you're sitting up tall here and allowing gravity to work, and that is plenty enough. Or if you'd like to walk your palms forward, you can come into a little bit of a fold and see how that feels. Just breathing here. And we'll slowly walk our palms up if you've folded forward. Bringing your hands back behind you, let's untwist everything, planting the soles of the feet to the outer edges of the mat. And we'll just come into a couple windshield wiper movements with the legs here. Just rocking out that big stretch that we just did in our hip flexors and our glutes. And we'll begin to set up for our second side here. So bringing your right heel towards our outer left glute, crossing our left leg over top of the right, hugging in with your right arm. Let's hug our left knee as we open ourselves up, planting our left hand back behind us as we begin to twist open. Maybe our gaze begins to slowly look over our left shoulder here. And just taking a few rounds of deep breaths. Maybe with every exhale, twisting just a little bit further. And just being gentle and kind to ourselves. One more big breath. And as you exhale, we'll bring everything back to center. Uncrossing that, we'll come into our fire log on the second side, so placing our left ankle over top of the right knee and our left knee over top of the right ankle, finding that parallel position with the legs. Maybe sitting up nice and tall here, or if it felt good for you and you'd like to explore on this side, you can begin to walk your palms forward, coming into a mini fold. And just breathing into the deep sensation here, noticing any differences between either side. Maybe a gentle sway is welcomed here too. And just taking a couple more rounds of breath, slowing things down as we near the end of our practice. Maybe bringing to mind anything in particular that we've been wanting to let go of. Maybe we can invite a little Aparigraha into the remainder of the rest of our day. Let's slowly inhale as we begin to walk ourselves back up if we're folded, and we'll bring our hands back behind us once again, planting the soles of the feet on the outer edge of the mat. And we'll just do a couple more of those windshield wiper movements. Just getting out any last bit of movement before we bring ourselves to a seat. Maybe crossing the legs, coming into Sukhasana, or just finding a comfortable position, however you would like to close your practice today. And we'll bring our hands to heart center from here. Just bringing our focus and our attention back onto our breath. We'll inhale as we reach our palms up towards the sky, inviting in one more Hakini Mudra as you exhale and bring it all the way down towards your heart center. Maybe focusing on these points of contact. All of your fingers touching the space between your hands. Hakini Mudra can be used for channeling our vital life force energy, our prana. Maybe you've created a little unknowing energy there. throughout your practice. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and an exhale out through the mouth. We'll inhale as we reach our palms one more time up towards the sky. Fingertips touch overhead, and exhale as you bring it all the way down to your heart center. Humbling your head towards your heart. I would like to share a quote with you as we close our practice by Swami Janesvara, and she says, "Love is what is left when you've let go of all the things you love." Thank you for joining me for today's practice. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you again.